Hey guys. Alright, I'm back. How are you guys doing? Uh, it's going to be doing something simple today as well. Hey Dalibut. Isaac Cook. Started binging your videos like an hour ago and he started streaming. Jelly kisses. Well, welcome. How did you find the channel? Just randomly through YouTube? So you guys probably wonder what I'm drawing here. It's obviously it's a limousine and it's for a top secret video. Top secret in the sense that it's going to take me some time to do, and I don't really want to talk about it until it's done. But I think you guys will like it when it's finished. Read it a while ago, eh? Yeah. You guys can take guesses if you want, but I'm not going to give it away. What exactly this episode is? It's not an episode. It's like a video, I guess. It's not interface stuff. Yeah, it's. I don't think the next episode is going to be 10 minutes long, but I mean, every episode I do seems to get a little bit longer than the last, and it's kind of getting to unreasonable territory because it's hard to make them long, you know, like that each time. It's a lot of work, but just I don't think my goal is to make them long. It's just to make them good. And if it needs to be longer, I might spend some more time on that episode. Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's an extra video, so. And I got the music for it already finished, and I want to release the music, but I'm gonna wait until this video is done because I think it will be extra special when it all comes out at once. Rusty Shackleford, no, it's not. It's not for interface. It's something separate. I'm working on the next episode as well for interface, but that will take some time. So what you guys been up to this summer? I gotta admit, you looked for Rule 34 of interface, eh? Thankfully, I don't think it exists yet, so I still think the series has kind of it's kind of underground. Like not too many know about it, so. Sweaty Velociraptor. Yeah, I'm using Photoshop. I usually like use an image to kind of like get the proportions of what I'm drawing correctly. Basically trace it and then kind of go from there. Why YouTube instead of Twitch? Well, the real answer is that I don't really have a big following on Twitch, so if I were to just do it on Twitch, I'd have to somehow advertise that, and apparently the new rules on YouTube, you're not allowed to basically advertise your Twitch on YouTube. So I'm even kind of wary just talking about it, because apparently some people got strikes for the channels for doing that sort of thing. So right now I'm doing both. Like, you can go to Twitch, and I'm also streaming on there under Umami animations. I'm using a program called restream.io, so it like streams to both websites. I'm not affiliate on Twitch, so it doesn't really matter. Notice me. Hey, Hazen Rubio. Noticed. I bet someone has just made Rule 34 of interface right about now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is, I don't really care too much. I think people really hate on YouTube for their rules and stuff, but it's like Jeff Bezos is just as bad, if not worse, than the people that work for Google. So he kind of pulled the rug out from underneath filmmakers. If you guys ever know about what happened on Amazon Video Direct, he basically cut the royalty rates by 2/3 after he got everyone to sign up, which YouTube hasn't done anything like that, except for, I guess, demonetizations, which just is kind of a little bit different. It's unrelated, because you just short videos announcing you're live on Twitch. Yeah, yeah. Andrew Ritter, if you're looking for the answer to that, check out the FAQ. It's in the description down there. Have you ever thought about doing a collab? I'm actually working on one with someone right now, Rusty Shackelford. I'm not going to say who it is just because it hasn't happened yet, so I don't want to like get ahead of myself. But he said he's interested, so we're probably going to work together. And it'll be on the next interface video, I think. I really pray. Inani Moose, thank you for your comment there. No worries, Andrew. It's yeah. I wrote a whole bunch of stuff down there because my first like 4 or 5 streams, I ended up repeating myself quite a lot. So, and I had never really had much experience doing streams before. Actually, none up until I started doing these animations. Just record your animations on VHS and mail them to America's Funniest Home Videos. That's not a bad idea. I didn't know they even made that show still. Who's the host on that show? Is it Zico? No, it's not Zico. It's someone else. It's someone who posts in YouTube Haiku quite frequently. I got a bunch of different things in the works, so I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but I got a lot of projects. I can't really talk about them yet, so Mikey O'Brien, it's all right. Carlton from Fresh Prince, eh? Okay, well at this point I can probably get rid of the drawing underneath. Just draw a few more things here. It's actually not an animator, so that might narrow it down quite a bit. The person that I might be working with. Are you an independent animator? Do you ever get paid from a company to animate? I'm an independent video editor, so I get paid by companies to like edit videos. And actually, I did do some animation for a video game company on contract for a couple days for one of their cinematics. But apart from that, I haven't really done any commissions yet for like in this style, I guess. I've done commissions plenty of times before, but not in this kind of pixelated style. How do you pull yourself out of an artistic rut? Well, the answer to that is I don't know. I mean, the thing is, you kind of have to take a break sometimes, you know? If you just try to be creative like every day, you're going to run yourself into the ground. And this probably goes against some of the advice that other people give, but I think it's actually good to just kind of relax and, you know, play a video game once in a while, or do something else, like go outside, go biking. You don't have to always be thinking about what you want to do. And when it is something that you want to do creatively, you have to do it for yourself and not for anyone else. Like, don't make something that you think your fans are going to like, or do something that you think people are going to like. Do something that you think is going to be funny or that you're going to enjoy doing. And that's kind of how I applied it to my music. And honestly, that's probably why my music hasn't really been that popular up until 10 years after I started doing it. I mean, really, I'm not that great at making music. But I just kind of made it for myself because there was no one that was really making music that in the style that I make my music, you know what I mean? So just whatever it is, make the stuff for yourself, right, creatively, and then don't think about what you have to do to make it popular so much, and just make it good, though. I mean, be honest with yourself, and that's the only advice I can give for people who are trying to get out of a creative rut. Sorry, I'm kind of going on there for a bit. Oh, look, my pen is like not working today. It's like drawing and then it's not erasing. Ah, shit. Let me just save this and restart. Not restart, but turn Photoshop on again. Shit, I'm kind of giving away too much here. Those thumbnails. Umami, you just announced the video for. Oh yeah, yeah. I won't tell you what it is. I will stop right now. Okay, there we go. My pen's working again. Yeah, that's America Bear. I guess that's true. But for some people too, it's like it's hard to have a passion when you can't pay your bills. You know what I mean? And fortunately, I've been lucky enough that I've been freelancing, and I don't have to like worry about like going to work every other day and being drained from sitting on a computer, you know, and then having to go home and animate on the computer. It can be tough, yeah, for sure. If you don't have that. Derv, I do commissions, but I'm getting quite a lot of requests for commissions actually. So if I were to do them, I'd have to like charge like what these other people are offering because I just don't have any time, unfortunately. Thanks, Hubson. What music program would you recommend for a dummy? Well, if you have a Mac computer, I would suggest just starting out with GarageBand. And I don't really know the answer if you get a Windows computer because I don't really use any Windows DAWs. I heard that Cubase is pretty straightforward though, and not too expensive. And I used to use something called Acid, like back in the early 2000s, and I don't know if that exists anymore. So sorry, can't give you an answer for the Windows because I don't really know. PreSonus Studio One is great. Yeah, I actually had a trial of that, and it looks pretty good. Like pretty straightforward, but also pretty. I can have everything there if you need it. Honestly, if you even got Logic, I don't think it's that complicated. Like you can, there's two different modes. There's like advanced mode and easy mode. Like you can turn stuff on slowly, and then once you start learning how everything works, you don't have to like you know, even on me myself, I don't even get into like the invent environment and that kind of sort of thing. I just kind of stick with the basics. So a few important things you have to learn though, technically wise, is like how to use a limiter properly, how to use a compressor properly, how to separate your bass from your midtones so that when you output it, like your bass channel is not like coming out of both stereo speakers, it's like centered, you know, and equalizing things, cutting out the mud and stuff like that. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there that will help. Justin, when are you going to collab with Art Carolina? I don't know, actually. Sometimes she helps me on my animations, so maybe, I mean, she'll probably might help me again sometime. What inspired you to make the stranger interface? That I should probably put that in my FAQ as well, actually. But the pink guy, I guess, is that the stranger you're talking about, or is it the blue guy? It's from an old comic I drew, and if you're a Patreon, you can find that it's like I uploaded it on my Patreon page. Okay, I have to start doing some colors here. When you make music, is there an instrument you pick up, or do you do it all on the computer? I do it all on the computer with a MIDI keyboard. And sometimes I incorporate some some actual sound recordings. I don't know where the blinker is. I should probably draw it in somewhere. Oh, it's right, because this is like a Cadillac. They don't really have blinkers. The red light itself just kind of flashes. Or is this a Cadillac, or is this a... This is like a Crown Victoria limo or something. Actually, I don't really know. Yeah, the aliasing is something that's... It's not original. I mean, there's other animators out there doing that, like Red Pilot Sun and Sweeney, a whole bunch of others. It's like a creative limitation, you know? You have to work around these creative limitations. Like I don't use crossfades. Really, I don't use them. I just try to, I mean, I have used crossfades, I guess, but very infrequently and to the point where you don't even notice. Try to keep all the colors consistently the same. Lincoln Town Car is what it is. What's your favorite toy / game as a kid? I don't know, man. I guess when I was like really a young kid, it'd be like Hot Wheels and stuff and Lego. There's this video game I used to play when I was younger called Shenmue that came out on Dreamcast. It's pretty cool. Okay, so I got some wheels. This in here. It's like those limousines. They have like those little kind of like windows. Those kind of like little lights on the side. I don't know if you know. Or I've seen them. Some of them do. I might get one. I'm not sure. Hey, Artie Milano. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate that. About to head out, but I gotta say, appreciate your style. Hey, thank you, the grenade. Talk to you soon. Do you prefer clowns or clownettes? I don't have any preference there. Yeah, they're making Shenmue for PC now. They're porting it, and the first one and the second one, and they're pretty good. It's supposed to come out next year, so I'll probably download that honestly, because or buy it off Steam, whatever, because they're well-made games, and then they're working on a third one too, I guess. Stitch's music. Hey, thank you. I've been animating since the fall of last year in this kind of style. I did some claymation before, like a long time ago, but it hasn't been. I mean, I haven't really had much time to. Just kind of slowly improving my animation skills by doing each of the animations. Adult Swim needs to pick up the interface series, eh? Yeah, but I'm working on that. It might take some time. Okay, I got my car there, and I think it looks alright. I think there's supposed to be like a little red thing right here. Maybe. It doesn't have to be like a replica of a real car, it just has to look like a limo. No worries, guys. I'm planning on, you know, they have a show called Development Meeting. I'm planning on pitching to them again sometime, maybe interface episode 8. So let's see what I can do. I mean, it's yeah. Thing is, they don't. It's like the interface stuff isn't really a comedy, and there's some comedic moments in it, but it's not really comedy. And I think they're usually looking for more like straight up comedy. I don't know if they would be interested in more like a serious kind of cartoon. You know, I think they could try it, see how the audience reacts. It's like not every cartoon needs to be a comedy, right? Like just because it's hand drawn doesn't mean it has to be funny. I mean, there's some funny moments. How can you have a cartoon like with a pink sausage-looking clown and not have it somewhat be weird, right? But either way, if they don't pick it up, and I'm still going to be continuing to do the interface stuff independently, regardless of what happens to the interface stuff, because I have I feel like these days is the best time to do independent kind of series and things like that on the internet, you know. Have you heard of a game called Little Nightmares? No, I haven't heard of it. What's that one about? America Bear, do you find it frustrating when people misinterpret your work? Oh no, I don't. Here's the thing, right? Like, if I've been doing paintings and stuff for a long time and other sort of music and whatever, and people are going to interpret your work however they feel. And that's kind of what artwork is about, isn't it? Because it's not about like, here's the thing, I really hate it when an artist comes out with a dissertation and they're like, this is what I've been trying to do, and this is what you should, how you interpret it and stuff. And the artwork is basically however someone reacts to it, you know. And if someone has a feeling or they react to it a certain way, it's not frustrating to me. I think it's just, that's how it is. And maybe sometimes if someone reacts to something I draw and it's not quite the response I was hoping to get, I got to step back and think, why is it that they're reacting this way? Is it because maybe I'm not 100% in control of what I'm able to draw as a message, you know, or say? It doesn't frustrate me. I think it's actually kind of cool to hear how people interpret things. And I know another thing is, no matter what you draw, sometimes you will draw something and it's insignificant, and people will make interpretations based on that. And it's like you didn't even mean for anything to be, you know, to be there. You can literally draw anything, and then people will make interpretations based upon it. So it's not frustrating for me. Let's see here, what else? Someone's gonna notice eventually. Do you have any plans for merch so you can at least get some cash flow from it? Stitch's Music. I actually do have a Teespring page. So if you guys are interested in some merch, like t-shirts and posters and stuff, I just started it a couple weeks ago, and people have been ordering some stuff off of it. So I'll post a link here. I'll just have to give me a second here, and I'll open it up. Storefronts. Yeah, so if you're looking Stitches, if you're looking for some merch and stuff, here, I'll post a link for you. Our clowns, are the clown's real eyes placed on his forehead? Those kind of yellow things on his forehead, they're kind of like windows into his brain, I guess. They're not really eyes. His eyes are the actual, like, the things that go like this. But they're kind of like so squinty that you can't really actually see his eyeballs. You got these like big puffy like eyelids and stuff. See? Do you know about last night? Alpha Male, what are you referring to? And yes, Nick, I've definitely seen Red Palette Sun's animations. Yeah, he's like one of my inspirations on this YouTube channel, so definitely. I've seen all of his videos. I've seen them like all multiple times. They're all like really hilarious. I just wish he uploaded more often, because I want more of it, you know. Reminds you of David Lynch. Well, that's probably because I'm a pretty big fan of David Lynch, and not that I'm doing things on purpose to make it look like David Lynch's style or whatever, but it probably comes out through some of the work. Actually, I watched one of David Lynch's movies last night, The Straight Story, about the guy in the lawnmower, which is kind of weird because I just did an animation about a guy in a lawnmower, but I don't know what it is, but I saw that movie, and it's an excellent movie. You guys should check it out, The Straight Story, if you haven't seen it or not. It's slow, and it's like not a typical David Lynch movie, but it's definitely really good. I wish they made more kind of movies like that these days. But instead we get like 15 versions of Star Wars. Okay, I'm kind of like overdoing it here. I think that's my car, and that's good. So save this. Hey Connor, Megger, thank you for the comment. What's my favorite type of pasta? I like making like red sauce, like a whole like a huge thing of it. So probably just like spaghetti and meatballs. Really, I'm not really too much of a fan of other types of pasta. I don't know why. Yeah, it's like not a typical David Lynch film. You don't feel weird. It's kind of like a normal film, actually. But are you a fan of Don Hertzfeldt's films? He's second favorite. You know, I'm not good with names when it comes to animators, so I'm gonna have to look the guy up. But I've probably seen some of his stuff. Oh yeah, I've definitely seen those rejected cartoons. Yeah, I've only really seen his rejected stuff though. I haven't seen too much of his other things. And yeah, Mulholland Drive is excellent. I also liked Lost Highway a lot. And what's that one with Nicolas Cage? And there's pretty much all his movies. I enjoy them a lot. So yeah. Okay. Moving on here. Let's create a video timeline. I don't know if you guys have seen some of David Lynch's drawings, but David Lynch published a book a while ago. It's quite thick and huge, and I saw it at the Montreal Public Library here. I don't know if you guys have a big library in your city, but in Montreal they have his book. It's huge, and it's just like full of his sketches and drawings, and they're really kind of weird. Check that out maybe sometime. Just go to the library. I don't think you can like book it out because the book is like massive, but it's like literally like the size of a table, and thought it was pretty interesting to see. What is this layer? It's just blank. Okay. This layer is going to be a reflection layer, and this is the base layer. Have you considered doing a Kickstarter / Indiegogo? I guess if I did one of like a Kickstarter / Indiegogo, it would be like for a feature film, like a feature animation, and I'd have to hire some animators to help me and stuff. But then I don't know if I'd be able to like continue doing my YouTube channel at the same time, and I don't know if you guys want, like, I don't know if it's a good idea to jump into a big project like that and then like stagnate the channel. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's something I might consider in the future. I don't know if it's the best for me to do it like around now though. How did you find the boomer meme? Let's just say that I like spend way too much time looking for like weird fucking videos and animations, and I subscribe to like some, just like if I find something funny someone did a long time ago, I'll just subscribe to them, and then like maybe like 7 months later they'll post something. So I'm not really sure. All I know is that I've started seeing like people making fun of like Facebook posts, I guess, that like someone, like an old guy would make, like signed Dash Mike or whatever, or I don't know, or like Dash, like, you know, Floyd or Raymond or whatever, or something like that. Okay, so next thing I gotta do here is kind of make the tires look like they're spinning. Merchants Guild representative. I'm using Photoshop to animate, and Photoshop and Premiere and After Effects. My creative juices. I don't think you want any of those. Mischief as a police officer, eh? Maybe I might do like a bonus video or something like that. That might be kind of funny, possibly. I don't know. Okay, so you guys might be wondering what I'm doing. If I just like redraw the tires on a different frame, it makes it look like they're spinning, sort of. Not yet, obviously, but see? So I usually do like a couple different frames. Do you have any odd pets? I have an axolot? Axolotl? I don't even know what that is, so I'll have to look that one up. What the fuck? So, I'm guessing that's a real animal and not some sort of Pokemon. That is really strange. What is how do you take care of something like that? Can you make an animation with the Grinch? I'll put that in my idea bank. I'll think about it. Oh, you guys like the day world and stuff? Yeah, I thought that was pretty good, day world. Illegal in your state? Why are they illegal? Are they like endangered or something? Or aquatic salamanders, and they're stuck in their juvenile stage. Felix Colgrave stuff. Is that the guy that made the animation Double King? So I've seen some of his stuff actually. Felix Colgrave. I'll just look like a... Oh yeah, it's him. Yeah, I've seen his stuff. Yeah, that guy's talented. You know, he's like a real animator. Thanks, Jellykishes. They're super invasive. They can breed with local salamanders or something like that, and they crash the ecosystem. Oh, crazy. Okay. $2 months per minute. Yeah, that's the difference there. I don't spend 2 months per minute on an animation. I try to make them detailed, but as you can see, they're not like clean animations. They're kind of rough around the edges, and honestly, I think that's what makes it so hard for animators, is to make their stuff look clean. Because I can kind of wing it just by like drawing a fucking, you know, like just like, you know, whatever like that, right? But they actually have to make sure it looks correct. So that's partially why I kind of chose the styles, because it makes sense for YouTube, which is you still have to make them relatively frequently, you know? I try to do at least a couple animations a month, if not just one a month. But two months per minute, that's crazy. Yeah. Different type of animator, yeah. Do an animation mode axolotls. Well, if I think of something good, I will. The trick I find for that kind of animation is to do like, it's almost like loops. Like you do a loop of something, like a walk cycle, and you do a loop of something else, like his eye moving or his arms moving. And you kind of use those different loops when you're compiling them all together so that you have an animation that looks like it's like kind of every frame is unique, but it's really not. I have some tricks to kind of do the same thing. Like I add these like kind of imperfect pixels here and there. It kind of makes it look like there's some movement or that something's alive, not so stagnant, you know? Like I'm probably gonna, well, not on this layer, but things that like reflect or whatever, they would sort of shift throughout time, so you just kind of move the pixels around a little bit. Have you taken any psychedelics? Not really, honestly. It's not really, I don't really feel that they help yet, so I don't, you know. I forgot to draw something on this layer, so. Oops. Yeah, so now it looks kind of like the car is like rumbling a little bit, I guess. There's like some movement because of the engine's moving, rolling, or running, I should say. I don't know where the exhaust pipe is though. Doesn't matter too much. Which continent is your favorite? I haven't been to them all, so I can't really say. Probably not Australia, unfortunately for you Australians. I keep hearing horror stories about how it like rains spiders from the sky and stuff. So, do you listen to Tame Impala? No, I haven't. I don't. You should post some of those links for it in the Discord maybe, and I should check it out later. The music. Way ho, how you doing? I mean, you didn't really miss much. I'm just kind of sitting here, kind of drawing the limo. It's nothing too fancy. Okay, so I'm going to try to put in the background here, which is going to be a highway in the middle of the city, like a highway with a Jersey barrier on the side there. So I'm going to put this car into a folder. Having to go outside and shovel spiders off your driveway in the morning. I hope you're joking. What ET games are you hyped for? Definitely Death Stranding looks amazing. And Cyberpunk 2077 looks amazing. Those are the two games I'm really looking forward to. And it looks like Death Stranding might only be coming out on PlayStation, which is kind of unfortunate because I don't have a PlayStation. But the Cyberpunk one they both look really cool. How about a green highway? I suppose I could do a green highway. I was thinking of, yeah, you know what? Actually, maybe I will make the highway green. I was going to put some light posts in. So what I'll do is I'll make it like gray, like dark gray, but then when the light posts show up, it's like, it lights up the highway as green. That might be kind of cool. I guess there's no point of really drawing back here because you're not even going to see it. It's underneath the car. So I guess I'm getting a little too detailed here. Atomic Heart. Is that another one for E3? I don't know if I've heard of it. Honestly, I haven't really watched all of the reveals. Wow. That looks like it could be interesting. I'm going to have to check out the trailer for that later. Green lighting, yeah. Yeah, I'll do something like that. Papa Squirt. I have done a lot of painting and freehand drawing. If you started watching the beginning of my stream, though, you'll see I'm basically just tracing off an image. That's just like to save time and stuff, and to make the proportions correct. But I went to art school, so I guess that's probably one of the reasons. I didn't just like start drawing animations without any drawing training. Because a lot of it's about color theory and stuff. That make things and compositions. That's what helps make things look good, I guess. Have you seen Sekiro's Shadows Die Twice yet? No, I have not seen that. I'm not even sure what that is. Oh, yeah, you know what? I think I did see the trailer for this. Perhaps, or maybe it was something else. I'll have to check that one out later. Yeah, I think I did see that, though. Hey, thanks, Kevin. Would you rather be a full-time animator with a decent pay or a millionaire with a real job you have right now if later you can ditch anim? Okay. Well, that's a hard question to answer because I don't really see myself, honestly, doing animation forever. I see myself more in a creative role and maybe having some animators work with me, because I think I'd be able to make some stronger stuff that way. But I guess the real answer is I'd rather work for myself and have more creative control rather than just kind of put in the hours and then be like a millionaire. Like, if that's what you're asking, I guess. I'm happier kind of just sitting here and making weird animations for now, though. Okay, so I got my barrier that seems to have taken me forever to draw for some reason. I needed to put some like basic colors down, so I'm gonna get this. Back here, there's going to be like some buildings and stuff, and they're going to be moving this way, and I'll put them on a separate like drawing basically, because yeah. Did you know that humans perceive left to right motion quite differently to right to left? Temp name, I guess you're referring to kind of like in Western movies when you would have like the bad guy enter from left of frame or whatever versus right of frame. If someone's walking this way, you have a different subconscious opinion about them than if they're walking this way. Sometimes I think about that when I'm doing my animations, but not always. At the end of the day, I just kind of do whatever looks best. I don't try to overthink it too much, you know? Is the next vid going to be interface? I'm not sure, actually. I'm working on it. It probably will be, you know, unless I think of a funny bonus video to do real quickly. But it's probably going to be interface, yeah. This should probably be a dotted line, I think. It's like it's like passing someone or something, I guess. Why is the series called this, by the way? It's kind of like, you know, that like static electricity that's in the series? It's kind of like if you're able to connect with it or something, it gives you powers. So it's like your interface with the powers that are kind of surrounding you. That's the idea, I guess. I don't know if it really works. It's like I'm kind of like regretting sort of that I called it that, because there's like this Reddit story thing that's called the same thing, and I just looked it up, and there's like a television series called Interface now. I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm just like, I probably should show something else, but maybe, you know, what I might do is like after season 1, make season 2 call it something completely else, something else. I'm like, well, what is this? I don't know what it is. I have no idea what that is. But it's called Interface. So the 4:3 aspect ratio. Here's another thing. there's a reason for this, and there's also a reason for the 15 frames a second, and partially why I chose the pixelated stuff as well. You guys ever hear about, like, what's his name? Fuck. You know, the guy that directed Django Unchained. I can't think of his name right now for some reason. The famous director, Glorious Bastards. Quentin Tarantino. It's like if you limit the visuals in terms of the frame rate, or if you limit the visuals in terms of what you actually see, your brain kind of makes up for the rest. So he's got a theory that he shoots on 24 frames a second, and it's better, superior than shooting on like 60 frames a second or 48 or 30 frames a second, because the in between, the choppiness of the frames, your brain kind of fills it in, and it engages some sort of like creative part of your brain that has to like interpret the images. And I don't know if it's like true or not, honestly. I'm just kind of like, you know, weighing it like in terms of what I'm doing here. But like, I think that if you limit some of the things, the drawings or with the visuals, you kind of open up for them to be interpreted more in a more engaging way, because it like activates a part of your brain that's like, where's the rest of the image, or where's the other frames, you know? I don't know if that's true or not, honestly. I have no idea, but I think that maybe it has something to do with it, because it makes sense. Like you watch a movie that's shot in 60 frames a second or 48, like The Hobbit or whatever, and it just feels off. I don't know what it is. It doesn't feel cinematic. It doesn't feel like you can step into the world, even though there's less frames than 24 frames a second. And the 4:3 kind of boxes you in a bit too. And then, I don't know. I guess I could have done it in 16:9. It wouldn't really make much difference. As far as I know, for doing comic books, every word in existence is trademarked. Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, I'm like, what's going to happen in the future when we got movies, like in year 2400, you're going to have like 30 different movies called like The Road. You're going to have like 70 different movies called like, I don't know, like just anything, really. I mean, at a certain point, you just run out of English words to use as titles. Okay, so at this point, let's see here. So I'm just catching up on some of these comments here. I'm also like, I don't know, in terms of the name interface, I just kind of like I don't like it when movies like put the word "the" in front of it. I just feel like it's redundant sometimes. But I guess it changes things a bit. It's just, I don't know, there's a lot of movies with the word "the" in front of it. It's kind of silly thing to get picky about, I guess. Okay, let's see how this looks. Not bad, I guess. It needs another. It needs one where it's like. I'm gonna one where it's like this, I think. Writing on the left, yeah. I might have to change some of this because I'm not sure if it makes sense in terms of where it's driving. I don't like that actually. I'm gonna just delete this. You know what? I'm gonna just change it. It's just gonna be like an off ramp. Oops. So there's no dotted line or anything. It's just gonna be like a ramp that's like on a highway. When I was creating my username, I'd Google the word, see if it's trademarked. There you go. It's not synthwaves. I got some music that I'm gonna use for this, but it's more like, oh shit, my button got reset somehow. I don't know. I have to just go down here and reset. Okay. Okay, so I got my car. Street lights. Okay. The street lights will make it look like it's driving forward, because right now it looks like it could be going backwards. This software looks extremely uncomfortable. Yeah, it's honestly not the best software for animating. It's kind of really difficult to use, but I like using it for some reason. I figured if it's not as hard as drawing on paper, then it's fine for me. Chiporello, how you doing? I'm probably just used to it. I don't think it's healthy. Well, I don't know any other programs that really allow me to animate pixelated. Like, that's the thing. What's going on here? Confused. I think I drew two things on the one layer. Yeah, there we go. See? Getting confused already. I'll just undo this. Could you also draw a big green sign passing by? Yeah, like over here or something, like kind of like a billboard or something. Yeah, I'll definitely put some stuff in there. Would you dump your girlfriend to date me? Pedro. Well, you're in luck because she's not here today. Okay, let's see here. That one you wouldn't really see because it's going up too high. Alright, let's see how... Yeah, it looks like he's driving about 200 miles an hour, so I'm going to have to add some additional frames. So just give it a second here. Have you seen Sable the Raw Fury game? It's so cool. No, I haven't seen that either, actually. Right, actually, you know what? I did see the trailer for that. It looks cool. Yeah, the cell shading and all that. Cinede, is that how you say your name? It's not an interface, it's a solo video, I guess, yeah. So if I just draw the frames that are like the ones in between them, it should help. A new one here, slow it down. I mean, really, well, no. Like sometimes you might even need to put, like I might not even draw these perfectly crisp. Like when I put the lights in, it might look a little bit smeared because of like when you count for like shutter speed and stuff like that. That's looking a little bit better. I think it needs another frame though at the beginning. Draw a little bastard man in one frame. I might sneak a few Easter eggs in. Okay, so I got my lamp there. Now, really, I should put like a smear. I'll make the light green. I think that'd be cool. So, because the light is so bright, it's kind of like a video camera smearing it from shutter speed, I guess. Not too late. Hey, so Squeak, how you doing? Could you please fill me in? Doing a video that is kind of a secret, and it's not interface, and it may not even come out for a long time. I'm just going to work on it slowly because it's going to be kind of big when it's finished. Oh, Umami, I made the plugin for After Effects. I noticed there was it was somewhat slow during rendering, so I made an optimized and faster versions, and it looks the same. Oh, that's cool. Thanks, being of pure internet. I will check it out if you put it on the Discord. Another frame here, and it could just be a little bit of green up in the corner. Yeah. So I got that, and now kind of a harder thing I have to do is there's many different things I got to do because the car needs a reflection on it from the light, and also the street needs to be lit up. So I'm going to do that. Okay, this is where things get a little bit tricky because I got so many layers here. So I'll just select all of that color and using the green, dark green, I think. I'm just going to do this as a test. If it doesn't look good, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, the Photoshop is tricky to animate with, but if you got a plugin, if you got this plugin, Animator's Toolbar Pro, it really helps. Really helps save a lot of time. I was using it. I was doing some of my first animations without the plugin, and that was a pain in the ass. I don't know if I'd be able to continue doing it the way I've been doing it, had it not been for someone developing a plugin like that. I would get a reference photo of rainy concrete with a streetlight reflections. Yeah, it's. I'm gonna probably have to get some references maybe eventually. Though honestly, when it comes to reflections, for me, it's not that hard because you really just have to know a few things about lighting, like obviously right now this isn't right because there's no shadow here. I'm just kind of doing a quick job, and I'll go in and do the shadow properly later. Well, actually, I should just kind of do the shadow now too, right? There wouldn't be any shadow here. You see a little bit of light underneath there. You wouldn't see any of this light over here, really. Just be like that. I'd say maybe some. Well, I don't know. I'll add that later, maybe. And right here, same thing. There's going to be a lot of reflections on top of the card too. It's a different layer, so I'm not going to do it right now. Kavinsky night call? No, I don't know what that is, but it's not that. Okay. Okay, so there's that so far. Still looking off because obviously there's no reflections on the car. And when I get to this point here, top of the Jersey barrier should be brighter. Because it's more direct light. Oops. That's a song. It's just okay. I see. How many layers on average are in one scene? It's hard to say because sometimes I build them up in Premiere too. So like I'll do a drawing like this and it'll have like, well, there's like 3 layers for the street, but there are actually different frames for them too. I don't know, maybe about 4 or 5, sometimes up to 10 layers, depending on how complicated it is. What motivates me to keep animating can be tedious. Well, honestly, to be honest with you, it's because there's an audience out there watching my animations. If I was uploading these things and no one was watching them, I probably would have quit a while ago. And honestly, I feel like it's unfortunate that there's a lot of animators out there that are talented, and it's hard for them to grow on YouTube because you have to do it like very frequently, and as an animator, it's difficult to do. Also, if I wasn't animating, though, I'd be doing something else. Either working on my music, which is what I used to do, but then no one would really listen to it because there was no way for me to advertise it, really, I guess. Okay. The SCP Foundation stories. No, I bookmarked it, but I haven't had really a chance to read too much about it yet. I've just been pretty busy recently with these animations and other work I have to do. Okay, so now I'm going to put some reflections on the car, and you guys can see that. That will help make this look a lot better, I think. I saved a layer just for the reflections. Yeah. So this is going to be kind of fun, actually, because the reflections are going to be the bright green color, because unlike the pavement, it's metallic paint, and the light should look a little bit more specular, I guess. And they don't even need to be like perfect, because the curvature of the car shifts, and what the hell is going on? Yes. So one of the frustrating things of working in Photoshop here is if you undo it. Okay, here it is. This is the layer. This is where it makes a big difference in your animations, is the lighting. Because a lot of animators don't do any lighting. That's so they got like the flat kind of like cartoony style stuff, and they don't consider lighting at all, really. They just do the black outline. I think that's unfortunately, for some reason, overlooked, is lighting in animation. I guess it's just an expense sort of thing, you know? Do you have a place where you post your music? If not, it'd be cool if you post an album on YouTube. I've been kind of debating about doing that. I don't know if because I already have a second channel for just my music. I mean, no one's on it, obviously, but you can go to my website, though, if you want to find my music, and it's right there. All the albums are right there. When I do when I finish a season of Interface, whatever, I was going to do an album of all the music in there. Then I might put it on the channel, I think, yeah. The second channel is not, it doesn't have any animation. It's just, my albums. I just basically put them up there for people who like to listen to music on YouTube. So you can also check this out if you're interested. And yeah. RJ, I do the animations at 15 frames a second. And Sir Squeak, it was there's some sort of like meme going around about like just like 30-year-old boomers or whatever. I thought it was funny. Nothing more deep other than that, you know. Just kind of a stereotype, yeah. What's your biggest fear? Mine is that I will die before I properly expressed all my ideas. Yeah, I don't really know what my biggest fear is right now, to be honest with you. It's kind of deep when you get into that sort of stuff, you know. When I was 21 or 22, actually, I got diagnosed with something, and it was like a life kind of thing that could have affected your life. I was in the hospital for a couple of weeks, and I came very close to dying. And I don't know if it's, I'm not really scared of that, but I don't know what I would be scared of or what my fear is. Not yet. Okay, so I got some lights. Now I feel like there would also be lights on the other side of the road, like right here. So what I might do is the same thing, but like alternating. I wonder if that's a good idea or a bad idea. Might be like too much. I could put like city lights reflecting in the car. That might be a good idea. Yeah, the guys post on the memes in the Discord are pretty good. Some new stuff in there. Okay, let's see here. This is looking pretty cool. I think it needs, well, it needs a few things, obviously, that is majorly lacking, which is like, in my opinion, oh shit, see here? I wasn't quite zoomed out enough and I missed some stuff. Let me just fix this real quick. The car doesn't have a shadow, and that's a pretty big problem. I was thinking of doing some shading. I might do some cross hatching, I guess, in terms of shading. The thing is that when I put my lookup table layer on, everything gets quite dark, and it's because this is supposed to be like a nighttime scene. So when I put in my color, it gets darker, I guess, kind of like bluish. And I don't want to go overboard with the shading. However, what I should do is definitely make things darker that should be darker, like the shadow, for instance, that doesn't even exist. So, oops, I'm going to do that right now. So squeak, yeah, definitely. This is going to be a fairly elaborate animation when it's finished. I don't know how to best put in the shadow. This is where it kind of gets tricky for me. Like, I don't know if that looks good. It probably looks like shit, actually, so I'm not going to do that. Just make a simple street shadow. I don't know what's going on right here. I'll have to fix that later. I must have did that by accident. Also, the street itself could just be like, it could just be like more, just doesn't have to look so clean, you know? But I'll do that on separate layers. I gotta fix whatever happened to my street there. Okay, I guess that's not the right layer. It's this one. Jesus. There must be something I drew. Oh, God. I accidentally erased part of the road. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out where that is. Not there. There it is. There's something on this layer. There. Now, another one I should do. Another layer. It's just, it needs like, the street needs like texture or something, you know? That's why it's making it look so weird right now. Looks a little bit like it's levitating. Yeah, I'm going to try to get that all fixed up. A lot of different things. It's tricky to do the animations with a limited color palette. I'm back. Hey, Henry. So Squeak, I just, I guess it's been a couple hours, maybe, probably 2 hours, maybe like an hour and a half. I'm not sure. Yeah, I got a bot that's supposed to like ping people when I stream in the Discord, but it only works sometimes. So I gotta look into that. I don't know why it doesn't always work. If you guys really want to watch my streams, the best way to do it is just click the bell notification on YouTube, and I think it should like give you a notification right to your phone when I start. Alpha male, sneak peek of this animation. This is all I've done for this animation so far. So unfortunately, there's not much else to show you. I'm working on another animation at the same time, so but it's unrelated to this one. I feel like the shadow layer could be a little bit more strong, so I could actually, maybe that's why it looks like it's levitating. Possibly it looks like it's not weighted properly, I guess. Shadow should be there too. And the side of the car. Those are some my windows open. If you guys are hearing the birds, it's so yeah. There's my. Now, unfortunately, the shadow looks very static, so I'm gonna have to break that one up too, and also make some other arrangements there because it doesn't look great when it's like super static. It looks like fake, you know. Probably break it up 2 more times. Just add a little bit of variation. If you animate the car moving up and down a bit, I think it would look more natural. Yeah, that's a good idea. Rusty Shackleford, I might do that too, actually. But that would be something I would do in a different stage, like possibly After Effects, I think. because doing it in Photoshop would be very difficult. Well, it's not super difficult. It's just it gets messy, I guess. Or it'd be one of those things I would leave to the last step, because I basically have to put everything in a folder and then like keyframe it, and then I don't like putting things in too many folders for now. Okay, so that's looking a little bit better. I don't really like how the shadow at this point looks. The lighting there. Will you ever do a just messing around stream? Yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't really mess around too much. Just kind of sit here and draw. But I don't know. Like, what do you guys? What would I do? I don't know really. You know. I can't really like watch videos and shit or anything because I don't want to like get in copyright strikes on this channel. So, oh, you know what? The window reflection here is missing something. In other words, it's non-existent. You would see little bits of dots in the window, like green dots going the opposite direction, I think. So, what layer is the... It's in here. Isn't isn't the shadow supposed to become sharper under the spotlight? Suppose you're right, actually, you know? Well, I will consider doing that. You know, I just gotta get, there's a few other problems I have here. Okay, let's see here. So at this point, there should be like a little dot, I think, kind of like right here. And this, and then it goes. It's really wide. I think. It's looking a little bit better, I think. Kapatits, do you have any art that I could check out that isn't animated or in this style? I've just seen your videos. Yeah, you can check out my paintings if you're interested. I usually post the link to those in here because some people request it. I'll put the links right here. Do a video or stream where you recreate some of Red Pile Sun's animations. That'd be kind of funny, I guess, yeah. Now I think the car could use some even more reflections that are dark green. So Squeak, no worries. Talk to you soon. When are the signed printed Umami art going out? I sent the last batch out on the 3rd, so if you haven't received it yet, you should receive it soon, Henry. However, if you signed up before the 1st of July and you haven't received your print yet in a couple days or a week, send me a message and I'll double check everything. Make sure because I sent them all out and they should be there arriving soon. I don't know if you live internationally, it might take a little bit long. But as far as I know, I'm already it should be caught up. They're in the mail. Yeah, I mean, you guys could. I think you could probably easily find out what I look like if you really wanted to. It's not like it's like hidden or anything. Yeah, Henry. I'll double check after the stream. I'll make sure that you got it or I sent it out. I'm like 99.9% sure it was sent out. I gotta check them all out. Just let me hold on here. Notepad. You live in the USA on the East Coast. Yeah, so you should have gotten it by now then. Yeah, I'm going to double check for you right after the stream though. I've only had one print come back, like return to sender, and that person stopped being a Patreon, I think, for a while, so at a certain point, and I'm not sure if their address was up to date. I'm not sure. I can't get in contact with them though. So, okay. How many frames per second are in the real world? Well, it's hard to say because your eye, when you're looking at a screen and it's projecting objects at 60 frames a second, and the shutter speed is like faster, because your eyes kind of have a shutter speed too. Like if you take your hand in front of your face and you start waving it around, it looks blurry. The problem is when you get a camera and you shoot at such a high shutter speed that things are crisp, and then you make the frames per second like really high, like 60 frames a second. It's like unnatural because you don't see that in the real world. You don't see things being crisp but at high frames a second. It's kind of confusing to explain, I guess. Hey, Zachary, thank you for your comment. Yeah, there's no like frame rate for your eyes, really. It's just kind of like a constant stream, I guess. I don't really know how it works. see here. Shadow. Shouldn't have drawn this on this layer, I think. Vsauce has a video about the resolution of the human eye. I'll have to check that out though. The animation is 15 frames a second. How long is the process of some of these videos? Well, I've been doing this drawing, and it took me about 2 hours to get to this point. And it's not done yet, so it's hard to say. I can't say your last name, but see you later. I don't know if we'll still be streaming then, but thanks for hanging out with us. Okay, let's see here. This layer and this layer is car. Okay, so for some reason I also made a mistake and drew some line over here. Henry, thank you, Henry. Gooper lol, or LOL, I should say. It's been about since the fall of last year is when I started. Okay, so I got my car, and I'm not sure if I want to have it go up and down, but I'm going to just try it and see how it looks. Someone mentioned that. Because I kind of like how it's like really smooth, you know? But let's just see what happens if I... Can I even do that? Where's my... I feel like it's missing a layer. Oh, Jesus. I guess I can't animate position on the folder layer. So if I were to do it, I have to do it in After Effects. And I might do it. It's just going to go like up and down really subtly. I don't know. It's supposed to be like nighttime, so... Just kind of sketching out some stuff here. I don't really know what I want to do with it yet. Obviously, there's going to be some buildings back here. Yeah, Henry, also, yeah, I mean, like, if anyone gets their Patreon print and it's, like, a little bit damaged and you want me to resend them another one, let me know, because it's hard to send a print. It's, like, really hard. Like, the mailman will, like... I have it basically sent in an envelope, like a manila envelope, flat, with a piece of board underneath it. So it should arrive flat, but you never know. Sometimes I sent out some artwork and it got damaged. Alright, so let's see here. I got this and that. Now I gotta draw. Info mashed. Well, thank you for hanging out, and I appreciate you hanging out with us. Let's see here. Like an industrial park, yeah, that's a good idea. Something like that. Some sort of like factory or grain elevator or something back here. You know what would also look kind of nice is if I did like had some water over here and I had the city like way in the distance. Then it looks like it's kind of driving on a bridge. But we'll see. Oh, someone's calling me, guys. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Hello? I'm back. Just catching up on some of these comments here. All right, I'm back. Yeah, so yeah, favorite book someone asked me. I read a book called Shantaram a while back. It was pretty interesting. It's about an Australian ex-convict who goes to India, and that was pretty good. What's your favorite books? I need some recommendations, actually. Hey George, yes, I definitely seen Jack Stauber's animations. Yeah. Oh no, I remember when he was posting them on YouTube Baker a while back. Pretty interesting. Okay, Lena.
Hello. I came to get a bag.
Okay.
Because the vegetable store doesn't have bags.
You know what? I think I might just finish this. You know what, guys? I think I'm almost done for today because I'm running out of energy.
You don't have to be done.
I'm basically what you would see here is this thing kind of go down here, and it would look like something like this, I guess, but probably actually slower. So it'd be more like this, but I'd have to do it in After Effects. I can't do it in Photoshop properly. Just gives you an idea. Series of Unfortunate Events. Yeah, I read that a while ago, actually, a long time ago. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's a nice car.
You like that?
Yeah.
It's not done yet. There's a lot of details in the sky and stuff I gotta do. And the building in the background is wonky, obviously. Alright guys, thank you for hanging out with me today, and I will probably do another stream sometime soon. I'm going to be doing them more frequently. And until next time, talk to you later.